Scrabble, crossword game, game rules. For 2 to 4 players, ages 8 to adult. Contents, game board, 100 letter tiles, letter bag, 4 racks. Object. In the Scrabble game, players form interlocking words, crossword fashion, on the board using letter tiles of different values. Each player competes for high score by taking advantage of the letter tiles as well as the premium squares on the board. In a 2-player game, a good player scores in the 300 to 400 point range. Setup. Place all letter tiles in the pouch or face down beside the board and mix them up. Draw for first play. The player with the letter closest to A plays first. A blank tile beats any letter. Return the letters to the pool and remix. All players draw 7 new letters each and place them in their racks. Gameplay. 1. The first player combines 2 or more of his or her letters to form a word and places the word on the board to read either across or down with 1 letter on the center star square. Diagonal words are not allowed. Complete your turn by counting and announcing the score for that turn. Then draw as many new letters as you played, always keeping 7 letters on your rack, as long as there are enough in the bag. Play passes to the left. The second player, and then each in turn, adds 1 or more letters to those already played to form new words. All letters played on a turn must be placed in 1 row across or down the board to form at least 1 complete word. If at the same time they touch other letters in adjacent rows, those must form complete words, crossword fashion, with all such letters. The player gets full credit for all words formed or modified on his or her turn. New words may be formed by A. Adding 1 or more letters to a word or letters already on the board. B. Placing a word at right angles to a word already on the board. The new word must use 1 of the letters already on the board or must add a letter to it. See turns 2, 3, and 4 below. Placing a complete word parallel to a word already played so the adjacent letters also form complete words. See turn 5 below. No tile may be shifted or replaced after it has been played and scored. 6. Blanks. The 2 blank tiles may be used as any letters. When playing a blank, you must state which letter it represents. It remains that letter for the rest of the game. You may use a turn to exchange all, some, or none of your letters. To do this, place your discarded letters face down. Draw the same number of letters from the pool, then mix your discarded letters into the pool. This ends your turn. 8. Before the game begins, players should agree which dictionary they will use in case of a challenge. All words labeled as a part of speech, including those listed of foreign origin and as archaic, obsolete, colloquial, slang, etc., are permitted with the exception of the following. Words always capitalized, abbreviations, prefixes, and suffixes standing alone. Words requiring a hyphen or an apostrophe. Any play may be challenged before the next player starts a turn. If the play challenged is unacceptable, the challenged player takes back his or her tiles and loses that turn. If the play challenged is acceptable, the challenger loses his or her next turn. All words, not just one, made in one play are challenged simultaneously. If any word is unacceptable, the entire play is unacceptable. Only 1 turn is lost on any challenge. Consult the dictionary for challenges only. 9. Ending the game. The game ends when all letters have been drawn and one player uses his or her last letter, or when all possible plays have been made. Scoring. 1. The scorekeeper tallies each player's score, entering it after each turn. The score value of each letter is indicated by a number at the bottom of the tile. The score value of a blank is 0. 2. The score for each turn is the sum of the letter values in each words formed or modified on that turn, plus the additional points obtained from placing letters on premium squares. 3. Premium letter squares. A light blue square doubles the score of a letter placed on it. A dark blue square triples the letter score. 4. Premium word squares. The score for an entire word is doubled when one of its letters is placed on a pink square. It is tripled when one of its letters is placed on a red square. Include premiums for double or triple letter values, if any, before doubling or tripling the word score. If a word covers 2 premium word squares, the score is doubled and then redoubled 4 times the letter count, or tripled and then re-tripled 9 times the letter count. Note, the center star square is a pink square, which doubles the score for the first word. Letter and word premiums count only on the turn in which they are played. On later turns, letters already played on premium squares count at face value. 6. When a blank tile is played on a pink or red square, the value of the word is doubled or tripled, even though the blank itself has no score value. When 2 or more words are formed in the same play, each is scored. The common letter is counted with full premium value, if any, for each word. See turns 3, 4, and 5 below. 8. Bingo. If you play 7 tiles on a turn, it's a bingo. You score a premium of 50 points after totaling your score for the turn. 9. Unplayed letters. When the game ends, each player's score is reduced by the sum of his or her unplayed letters. In addition, if a player used all his or her letters, the sum of the other player's unplayed letters is added to that player's score. How to win. The player with the highest final score wins the game. In case of a tie, the player with the highest score before adding or deducting unplayed letters wins. Rules for shorter gameplay. New Scrabble game players should find these versions faster and more inviting than the standard version. 9-tile Scrabble. This variant is identical to the original game, except players have 9 tiles on their racks instead of the usual 7. You score a 50-point bingo bonus for using 7, 8, or all 9 tiles on your rack. Finish line Scrabble. In this variant, the game is over when one player reaches a pre-decided score, no matter how many tiles are left. This variant allows mixed play level groups, as the score needed to win depends on the level of the player, beginner, intermediate, or expert. Here are the points needed to win the game. 2 players, beginner 70, intermediate 120, expert 200. 3 players, beginner 60, intermediate 100, expert 180. 4 players, beginner 50, intermediate 90, expert 160. If players of the same level are playing, each needs to reach the same score. For example, 2 intermediate players would be playing to 120, and 4 beginners would each be playing to 50. Examples of word formation and scoring. In the following, the words or letters added on 5 successive turns are shown in bold type. The scores shown reflect the letter R being on the center star square. In turn 1, count horn, H-O-R-N. In turn 2, farm, F-A-R-M. In turn 3, paste and farms. In turn 4, mob, not, and bee. In turn 5, bit, pie, and at. Turn 1, score 14. Turn 2, score 9. Turn 3, score 25. Turn 4, score 16. Turn 5, score 16. www.scrabble.com. Scrabble, the associated logo, the design of the distinctive Scrabble brand game board, and the distinctive letter tile designs are trademarks of Hasbro in the United States and Canada. Copyright 1999, Hasbro, Pawtucket, Rhode Island, 02862. All rights reserved, 04024-1.